Hello, I am Josie Wales and welcome to this combat mission Fortress Italy after action report. This was a head-to-head battle, PBEM, play by email, against Buckykatt from the Few Good Men, a group which I have just recently joined. This was my first ever multiplayer experience of combat mission. The setup is a meeting engagement played on a small map. I'm playing as the Americans and Buckykatt is playing as the Germans. There are 4 objectives on the map. As we pan round, on the western side of the map is Casa di Motta. As we move round to the northern end, we see the road junction towards the German start positions. In the centre of the map is Hill 347, and on the eastern side of the map, my right, is Casa Barini. My initial plan is to take Casa di Motta and Casa Barini as they're fairly close to my start position. Both Buckykatt and myself are using mechanised infantry for this battle. I have chosen elements from 2nd Battalion, 43rd Armoured Infantry. I have got 2 companies. On the left is Easy Company with 1 platoon in it. And on the right is Fox Company consisting of 3 Armoured Infantry platoons. So, as I said, the opening strategy is going to be quite simple. On the left, Easy Company are going to move towards Casa di Motta. It's got hard cover, so we can secure that and hold that. And on the right, Fox Company are going to take the centre and the right, with 1st Platoon in the centre and 2nd and 3rd Platoon moving towards Casa Barini. The battle starts at 1300 hours. In total, I have about 190 men, including 5 medium machine gun teams, 4 60mm mortar teams, 4 M3 37mm AT guns, and 7 M3 half tracks. On the left, 1st Platoon Easy Company move into Casa di Motta, and far left we get first contact with enemy infantry. On the right, 3rd Platoon Fox Company make contact whilst moving into Casa Barini. A German infantry squad are in a small outbuilding opposite Casa Barini. They are seen off with surprising ease, whilst I continue to reinforce the objective. I moved the first AT gun from its original firing position on the far left, using a half track. My intention is to shoot and scoot with these AT guns to keep my opponent guessing about how many I have. A firefight develops between Casa di Motta and Hill 347, and I'll try and use my automatic weapons to establish fire superiority. Strategic update 1:13:04 hours, 4 minutes into battle. Easy Company have moved into Casa di Motta and have made contact with German infantry towards the top left of the map. 3rd Platoon Fox Company have moved into Casa Barini and have established contact with enemy infantry towards the top right of the map. 1st Platoon of Fox Company are approaching Hill 347, and 2nd Platoon are being kept back in reserve just below Casa Barini. So the Germans seem to have taken up position either side of the road junction objective. Now that contact has been made, my intention now is to ramp up the pressure at the various points of contact. As well as armour piercing, the AT guns have a limited amount of HE and canister. Fox Company spots an 80mm mortar team firing spotting rounds at Casa Barini. 3rd Platoon MMG team shift fire to take care of them.
Yes, sir.
On the left by Casa di Motta, 1st Platoon HQ of Easy Company call in a mortar strike. The firefight on the centre left intensifies. As I pour in more troops. On the right, a German infantry team has reoccupied the outbuilding opposite Casa Barini. They are harder to dislodge than the previous team, but 3rd Platoon Fox Company rapidly achieved fire superiority. I move up an AT gun to further increase the firepower and rush an NG team into a forward position. Over on the far left, a half-track is slugging it out with German infantry. Centre left, small arms and MG fire are starting to take effect on my opponent's forces. The mortar fire mission requested earlier by 1st Platoon HQ of Easy Company further puts pressure on the German infantry. On the right, the guns help dislodge the German team in the outbuilding. Strategic update 2, 13:10 hours, 10 minutes of battle. Easy Company are still in and around Casa di Motta. 1st Platoon of Fox Company are nearing Hill 347. 3rd Platoon are still at Casa Barini. And 2nd Platoon of Fox Company are still in reserve, although I am thinking of doing something with them very shortly. The German positions haven't really moved and are still either side of the road junction. However, top right, there does seem to be a flanking move being made by my opponent. Do a quick flyby to give a 3D view of the battle. On the western side here is Casa di Motta. Moving around to the northern side, you can see the German forces either side of the road junction. Coming around to the east in Casa Barini, and you can see the layout of my forces. We've got 3 of the objectives, but I do want to make a push for the 4th. Near Casa Barini, I limber and reposition one of the AT guns, and on the far right, a scout team from 2nd Platoon Fox Company moved to a farm building to better observe this German flanking manoeuvre that I think my opponent is trying. I move several half-tracks to 2nd Platoon Fox Company's standby position, and I get 2nd Platoon to mount up into them. Focusing on the right, 2nd Platoon are mounting up, and I'm going to use them as an assault platoon. I expect my opponent is trying to push my right flank. I've got a scout team to try and get an eye on them to find out what they're made of. However, I'm not particularly worried about that because 3rd Platoon have got a good position at Casa Barini. I'm going to move 2nd Platoon towards the centre of the map and use them to strike at the hill just to the right of the road junction objective. To help facilitate this, I'm suppressing that area with as many machine guns as I can bring to bear. The road junction objective is overlooked by a 2-storey bombed out building. I will need to take this to be able to secure the objective properly, and I've picked the hill in front of that building to initially assault. From there, 2nd Platoon will regroup and push into that building. To help with the assault, I push 1 squad from 1st Platoon Fox Company forward, and 2nd Platoon get lined up to move out. I push 2 empty half-tracks towards the road junction to try and divert enemy fire away from the fully laden half-tracks that will shortly follow. The assault platoon moves in. The Germans on the hill start to fall back to the bombed out building. On the far right, the scout team probe forward to get a better view of the German flanking force. They run into a German scout team, which is quickly dealt with. The main enemy flanking force emerged along the crest of the eastmost hill and engaged my assault platoon. The assault platoon, however, are well supported by the rest of Fox Company. Mortar fire, MMG fire and HE rounds from 37mm guns soon chased off the flanking German force. On the left, an M3 gun has got close enough to use canister. We get a spot on a Stummel mounted on a 234. The nearby gun switches to AT. Back near the road junction, an assault team attempts to move into the two-storey building. Whilst the squad rushes the outbuilding that was occupied by the Germans earlier. German forces near the road junction are starting to feel the pressure. A second assault team attempts to breach the two-storey building. Strategic update 3, 13:25 hours, 25 minutes after battle. It's an overview of the positions. On the right, 3rd Platoon of Fox Company hold Casa Barini. On the left, 1st Platoon Easy Company hold Casa di Motta and the surrounding hills. In the middle centre, 1st Platoon of Fox Company hold Hill 347, and elements from 2nd Platoon Fox Company have reached the road junction, although the two-storey building has not been secured. At this point, my opponent hints at surrendering. And after 26 minutes, my opponent surrenders. It's a US Army total victory. We've secured all the objectives. We have got 155 men okay. A total of 36 casualties, no vehicles destroyed. My opponent's got 154 men okay, 89 casualties, 1 surrendered and 1 armoured vehicle destroyed. Looking at the map reveals all the German positions. The initial look is that there is a lot of German infantry still left. However, closer inspection reveals that most of them are rattled, quite a few are broken. My own troops are sort of ranging between nervous, cautious to okay. I'd like to say a big thank you to Buckykatt for helping me to get this mission set up at the beginning and for making this a very enjoyable first experience of combat mission head-to-head. I do think this map favoured my start position. I think I had an advantage in terrain and hard cover objectives from the start. A last quick look at the German commander responsible for causing all this trouble. And with that, I'll leave you with some images from the battle. War is hell. I'm Josie Wales. Thanks for watching.